Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at some new stuff that's gone up for pre-order, and I just couldn't contain myself. I had to drop on some of these, because, oh, they look so good. But then again, that's primarily what happens with promo stuff. They make it look really good, and sometimes it doesn't turn out like that, especially with SDs, which we start off January with Arthur Mark III from SD World Heroes. Honestly, for like what seems like the past month or so, I've been yelling at Bandai to release this, or at least put up the pre-order for it, because I was really hyped about it. Primarily because, you know, I'm British, like British representation, you know, so we get King Arthur as a Gundam. Hell yeah, I'm going to drop on that. So, what we have here is a nice representation in SD form of the Mark III Gundam, with all this regal stuff all over him, and it looks so nice. You know, you got these like side skirts that look like flowing long cloak bits that also look like a lion's mane at the bottom. We got this really nice section of cloak at the back, which has this gold trim. The entire thing reminds me a little bit of Saber from Fate, Link the Fate franchise, but then they top it off by having all of his clear parts that you get to see later on in the final section of the show. We've got this like clear blue crown, plus some extra armor on the chest, the shoulders, and the pelvis area, and it's so cool. And also, giant clear blue Excalibur. You know, I absolutely love all these preview shots, especially here we've got a couple of extra clear parts for, I think, around near the neck. Oh, the side of the head, sorry. So yeah, I love this idea of accenting the suits with these clear parts. And overall, it looks like a really, really nice model. The thing is, I know SDs, or rather, I think I know SDs, well enough to know that this is probably going to be slapped full of stickers, especially because of some of the more recent ones being very similar. I think, if I remember rightly, Sao, I think that's how you pronounce him properly, the Wing Gundam style, Issei style, had a load of places that needed stickers. I think Nobunaga needed some as well. It's unfortunate that we don't get SDs with the similar level of love and care like this. Like the entry grade stuff, because entry grade stuff is really good, and we'll get to that later on in terms of the colour separation. I just wish we got that kind of colour separation on here, but it would probably cost a lot more. So this is a really nice way to start off the year. It's also a really nasty way of getting me to potentially look at getting a fine paintbrush and a good gold that isn't my spray can that I normally rely on to really try and do this guy justice, because it's so cool. I've been so hyped up about this one for ages right now. This is probably going to be taking the #1 spot on my shelf. Then here we've got another one. We've got Robin Hood, again, more English representation. So Robin Hood is the Age 2, and they've replaced the binders on the Age 2 with these green clear parts that look a lot like leaves from Sherwood Forest. Then we've got this like brown sort of boot cover looking armor here. Again, it's following on with the Knight aesthetic. We've got this cool hat with the feather in it, and also we notice on bits of the other promo art here, we've got this Highwayman style mask that he has in the show that I really like. He also comes with this little drone thing that can be made up of his shoulder armor, and another section which I don't think is actually shown on the front or the back here. I don't know which part makes up that little drone that he's got, which is kind of like a bird in the show. But I really love the Knight aesthetic, primarily because we get a load in SD stuff of like Musha style, Sengoku era style armor and variants of that. Honestly, I'm more about the Knight stuff at the moment, primarily just because it's new, it's something that they hardly touch on. For a load of people, I've said, you know, I like the Knight Gundam just because it's different and is totally unique compared to quite a lot of other designs, especially because they just go in so much on Musha. So seeing a lot more Knight stuff, even if it's just in SD format, immediately just gets me hyped and gets that day one pre-order as soon as they put it up. Again, Here's another one. We've got the Night Strike Gundam. This is apparently one of the new ones that's been announced as a side sort of story to the Night World section of World Heroes. Can't wait for this, because, you know, like I've just said, all about that night stuff. So, again, we've got what looks like a very, very nice kit. We got some clear green highlighting quite a lot of sections here. Reminds me a bit of Sasuke Delta Gundam, with the whole thing of he had a lot of clear blue on him that was poking out in quite a lot of sections, like the shoulders. This seems to have it on the lower arms, the shoulders, the chest, and what looks like the front skirt here. Loving all the trim detail again, with this gold accenting almost all of the armor, and the knight sort of visor thing that it's got going on the head, plus these extra little wings on the side. Another thing that gets my attention is how close the sword here is to the actual official Night Gundams. It's pretty accurate. The only difference with the Night Gundams is it doesn't have this gold detail running up the end of the blade, and instead has I think it's the Federation logo on the end. I've only just built it in Mass Builder, so no, it's pretty cool seeing this. We've also got a different guard, if I remember rightly. The Night Gundams is different there. But yeah, we got more nice night themed representation here. I'm all about that at the moment. And I love this new take on the Sengoku Warhorse, I think it is. The Warhorse that Nobunaga has that was released earlier, at like the beginning of the World Heroes line, I think, or close to it, was black with red clear parts. This is completely inverted. This is white with blue clear parts, so if you want him riding around on a horse, then by all means get that, because that's up for pre-order as well. And then we've got Sizo Delta Kai here. Sizo in the show is Sasuke's rival, and as a result, he's inverted. This is the version that's taken over by the Dark Mask. I don't know whether you can take off certain bits, like the purple trim around the eyes there or not, or try and make him look a little bit more friendlier like he is in Sasuke's memories. But this is when he's been possessed by the power of the Dark Mask, so he's got a load of like purple dark energy going through him. He's got that really cool, nice sort of ninja pose here with a ninja hand signal, where he's throwing shurikens. He's got a little bit different to him, because he uses, or looks like he reuses, a lot of the Sasuke Delta Gundams build, primarily because they're very similar to each other. So he doesn't have the Kabuki sort of fox-style mask going on the side of his head, but what he does have is the different backpack and different colours. So whereas Sasuke was black and red, Sizo here is white with this kind of like dark blue. Also, the blue trim, it doesn't look like fire like Sasuke's did, and it goes up his left side rather than Sasuke's right. And the head crest has slightly different sort of iconography going on here. It looks like two blades and a kunai. But yeah, I like this. It looks really cool. I'm not sure whether I'm dropping on this yet. I might do. I've already got Sasuke coming, but literally, it just looks like an inverted version of Sasuke. Either way, pretty nice, pretty like maneuverable from what I've seen, or pretty posable. So it'd be interesting seeing pictures of that actually assembled. You know, like the ARM promo stuff to see what it looks like. Then here we've got a new one. This is the backpack for this one, but this is in January as well. This is Sizo, Legend Gundam. Honestly, I dropped on him as well, primarily just because of the sort of like night-looking aesthetic again. Reminds me a lot of the Night Gundam, or at least the full armor Night Gundam with the colour scheme here. Between that sort of what looks like dark grey or dark greyish blue, the silver accents all over the armour, and then the really dark blue highlighting certain sections. And then we've got the accents of like red clear parts all over. I really love this, especially this shot here. It looks so nice. I think because I dropped on the pre-order for this, when I get this, I'm going to keep him like this without the backpack, because his backpack looks a little bit weird. He's got this gimmick where when he powers up, he looks like a Spartan warrior with the mask. That looks pretty cool. I wasn't too into it at first, but when I made that connection, I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of get behind that now. He's also got this lion-style saber attachment on his arm, and what looks like the back of his crest gets a clear piece as well that goes into it. That's pretty cool. His backpack being made up like a lion there, it's weird. I'm not so sure I'm going to display it like that, but either way, again, I'm appreciating all these new SDs, primarily just because I like giving SDs a chance. Not many people do, especially because of the lack of colour separation and massive amount of stickers normally. But for those who have the time and the patience and can put in the effort with paints, well then they look really good. And then, on top of that, we start getting the interesting stuff, or rather more interesting stuff. Don't want to insult any of the SD stuff that I just talked about, because I'm so hyped for them. But here's another one that I'm hyped about. This is the entry grade Strike. Now, if anybody's seen the entry grade Gundam before, the RX-78, then this one I'm hyped about just for the same reasons as that. The RX-78 was a really, really good entry grade build. It was the first time I'd ever got something like that. Just because it's like, well, why would I bother getting another RX-78? I bet a lot of people ask themselves that question, depending on what, new advancements are made to the design or whatever. Because there have been a lot of them over the years. But, the Strike here, I've not actually got any version of the Strike before, so this is going to be really cool. I'm getting this primarily for the same reasons as I got the entry grade RX-78, which is, it's going to be good, sturdy, very poseable considering, and that colour separation. Just that colour separation, it's getting me hyped already. It's going to be another easy build, but the highlight of this is just the amount of colour separation and accuracy out of the box without really having to do too much. I used the RX-78 as kind of like painting practice for messing around doing like a graphite finish over the top of it. I don't know whether I'm going to do the same with the Strike here, but it's going to be a nice building experience either way. I'm really hyped for this one just to see if it continues the what the RX-78 started, which is just being a really good kit for beginners. So all this promo art is making it look really enticing and really good. I just can't wait for this. I want to even see if they do like any backpacks for it, because they've got the room for it there. So we might get stuff like that in future. I'm being optimistic about that. I hope we do. Then, of course, we've got the high-grade 00 Command Quanta. Not dropped on this yet. I'm kind of indecisive about it. This is essentially the Quanta, but it's done up to look like the SD Command Gundam. I do like the theming of it, primarily because, I'm all about those SDs. So, seeing this being actually acknowledged and done as a design is really cool. I'm really liking the look of this. Dark plastic, though, I'm not too sure about, primarily because I know the nubs on that green are probably going to be nasty, and the gold's not going to be the best, so you're probably going to be best using either a kind of Rust-Oleum gold for that, or just something, maybe like an airbrush gold or whatever, that's going to really do this a lot more justice. I do, however, love just seeing the Quanta like this. It looks so much better, in my personal opinion, compared to the normal Quanta. Love the fact that it's highly poseable. I'm wondering whether they're going to actually do anything like to separate this from the normal one, or whether it's just a highly modified old Quanta kit. Maybe I'm asking for a bit too much with that, and they've probably literally just taken the original Quanta and just slapped some different parts on it. But either way, I'm liking this. It looks like it might have some good parts separation here. I may drop on this as well. I'm still undecided, but it's looking real nice from these promo shots. You can make all the promo shots look good. And then the last one, which I'm not dropping on, but caught my attention primarily just because of how ridiculous it is the high-grade Barbitarus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, it's the Barbitarus, but slightly edgy and looks like a horse. You know, and or a centaur, sorry, with this kind of like really demonic tail that kind of reminds me of the Hashimal. So yeah, it's a case of take the Barbitarus and go full demon with it. Do some editing to the original frame, so we've got no vents on the front here. Instead, they're on the skirts. They're slightly different as well. They remind me a little bit of the Narrative's vents. You got the vents on the chest that are pointed down like the Narrative Gundam. The V-fin and crest is slightly modified and only comes out one side, so it's asymmetrical. And then you've got this giant spike on the shoulder armor, which looks like the Form 4 armor, just slightly modified. And then you got this massive rear section, which looks like completely new armor. It kind of looks here like we get another chest section, or at least that looks like another chest section, which then connects to another set of legs and another waist section with these extra bits of armor on the back. And then, of course, we get the more traditional vents on the back of these extra legs, but they're sticking out way more. And obviously, because of the height clearance, we then have sort of like these weird high-heeled looking feet on the back. And then we also get like I think it's a bow with it or some blades. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a bow. I can imagine if somebody did this up in a less edgy colour, like white or something, or just did it in some like a lot more angelic style colours, it would look very cool as well. Not so sure about the edgy theming of it, but it's meant to be, I think, like an antagonist suit or whatever, just looking at it. I don't know too much about it at this point. Especially these weird arm blades. It's a really weird pose to choose there. Not so sure about that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing this, seeing people do reviews of it, and seeing what it's like. I'm so excited for all the new stuff, especially because like it's been a while since I got anything, so just dropping on all these SDs is going to be real fun, and then everything else is basically just adding on top of that excitement. Anyway, is there anything in here that you guys have seen that you really like or you're getting? Is there anything that you've been excited about that's not on here but you're excited for in future? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next one. So until then, bye!